sister-in-law had an 8-week-old baby, so just lots of key characters.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
My
so I get you guys went to move.
You know what? It's so true. You have so many friends around when you're getting married that are pregnant or having babies or just going through that life stage as well.
Right.
My best friend at the time had probably a 6-week-old. I remember at the wedding. So I was married, yes, exactly 2 months. So, but the hens, he was probably 4 or 5 weeks old.
And so then they don't get to come.
They don't get to come. She came for half an hour. She was like, I have to rush back. I'm breastfeeding. And then on the wedding day, I remember her having to, we hired a babysitter because he was 2 months old and she was breastfeeding. And I had to pick an outfit that was suitable for all of that.
Yeah.
And she was having hot flushes. And so I want a rehen too.
Yeah, right.
We're going to make that trend today, guys. We're going to have a rehen and a renewal of vows. And then how amazing. I just want to talk a little bit about your business and your success story and how long you've been in the industry and the legacy of what you carry and how amazing this is in person and me regretting not keeping my bouquet. So that's a lot. Introduce yourself, please.
Hi. Well, I'm Jess. I'm the owner of The Keeps, and we preserve bouquets and all the other memorabilia after the wedding day.
And so with the preservation process, does everything look like this or what are the different ways that you can preserve?
Yeah, so everything we do is completely customised to the couple. So the domes is just one option.
Yeah.
We've got frames, keepsake boxes, perspex boxes, and then we've even got a whole heap of smaller items if you don't want something so large.
Yeah.
Like candle holders, goblets, and even a photo box that actually opens up and they can store items inside.
Oh, beautiful.
So it's just really customised.
Yeah.
And then each of those things are completely customised. So if you don't like black, this comes in white, wood, a whole heap of other things.
Amazing. And how long has your business been running for?
Okay, more than 32 years. So I'm second generation, took over from mum in 2016. So
amazing. And you've been running the business now for 8 years.
Yeah.
And what I found so fascinating when we last spoke was the way that the preservation takes place is almost like museum grade.
It is. So we have a plant physiologist on team and we have our own in-house laboratory, including a scanning electron microscope. So to preserve the bouquet, it's photographed, it's documented. Each of the colours are catalogued to the Royal Horticultural Society's colour catalogue.
Oh
and then we pull it all apart and preserve each flower. And sometimes even each petal.
Yes.
Based on their cell structure.
That is insane.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. My goodness. And so how old is this beauty?
So this one here is from 2020.
It's so majestic. Can I tell you, I feel like I'm in a Disney movie.
So
that's how I feel. I'm not even joking. It is so beautiful in person. I really feel like you have to see this to understand that what the presence of this would be like in your home. And I know that for my daughters, seeing something like this from the wedding that always sits in the home would have just been so beautiful.
Absolutely. I mean, I say to people all the time now, the favourite thing about my frame now, and I was saying to you earlier, I've been married for almost 8 years, is I've got a 3-year-old and she says to me all the time, oh, they're mummy's flowers from when mummy was a princess and married daddy.
Aww.
And I just love that it brings to her how magical weddings are.
Yeah.
Because it is the most magical day.
It is.
And kids have this wonderful way of seeing the magic in everything.
They do, but that's why it feels so special. I feel like, so with yours, do you have your wedding photo with the bouquet or is it just the bouquet that you've preserved?
So I've got my wedding bouquet. I had almost a metre long bouquet.
Wow.
So it trails over my marriage certificate and then I have a big photograph either side and it's...
Oh, so your marriage certificate is in there too.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
So it's quite a...
Whereas mine's sitting in an envelope. I don't have my bouquet, but what I found interesting as well, so with the bouquet, the bride, when she tosses the bouquet, does she toss her bouquet or a secondary bouquet?
Well, generally they toss a secondary bouquet.
Yeah.
So a lot of florists...
This is a good tip, guys. People don't know this.
Yeah, well, a lot of florists use that as a extra that they sort of tack on.
Yeah.
And that's because as a bridesmaid or as a person wanting to get married, would you want to be underneath this to catch it? It's going to hurt.
Yeah.
They're heavy.
They're heavy.
They are big. I mean, my bouquet, as I said, was over 1 metre long. Trying to lob that over the back of my head
Wow.
would have just been impossible.
Yeah.
So I had a tiny little thing that I lobbed,
Yeah.
threw at my sister, and she caught it.
Did she get married?
She's not yet, but she has been engaged for a very long time.
Oh, okay, there you go.
So, well, hopefully this will give her a kick in the butt.
Yeah.
I may or may not have signed her up to wedding week.
Oh, good. Good. There you go. So there's a good little name drop there. Wedded Week, guys. Tell us about what your offer is for Wedded Week.
So we're offering one of our candle holders as a free gift to you if you buy one of our packages.
Okay.
And so that's something you guys can either gift to mum and dad as a thank you for all their hard work that they've done in the lead up to the wedding.
Yeah, okay.
Or it's something you can keep for yourself and light at anniversaries or then at christenings and those sorts of other significant events that then happen after the big one, which is your wedding.
Yeah.
And they're just so delightful. They sit about 26 centimetres tall.
We'll share all the
They are
details with you guys. Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. Amazing. And so who is the kind of bride? Like, what kind of bride is going, I want this?
The kind of bride that wants this is the bride that's probably pressed flowers herself.
Yeah. Okay.
Or kept little trinkets for herself in a box.
Mm.
And I think realistically, that's everybody. We all have that secret little box hidden underneath the bed or in a wardrobe that's got those important life memories in it.
Yeah.
And so my challenge to everybody is
Preserve.
don't put it in a box where you're not going to see it.
Yeah.
Put it out on display where you can enjoy it, where the next generation can enjoy it. That gives you an excuse to tell your story and your love story.
Yeah.
Because whilst those memories are alive, it helps you on the days where you want to murder your other half.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they come, you're married.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it really...
The presence of that is so important, I find, in the home. Like, and the sentiment around these are the things that we keep and hold on to because they remind us of that particular point in time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's much better than filling your home with things that don't mean anything. It's just because you saw it on the block or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
This is something that means to you. It's had a moment with you.
Yeah.
I mean, your wedding flowers are the only thing you have with you all day long. They're with you
so
when you get
true.
ready.
Yeah.
You take them when you leave.
Yeah.
When you are nervous walking down the aisle, what are you holding on to? Your
But
flowers.
also, what are you holding on to afterwards? It's like, because I saw one of your frames where it had the bow tie as well, which I loved that. So then it's kind of like a, you know, his and hers as well. And also that the preservation can continue through other things. Yeah. So one of the other talking points was around the fact that you've preserved medals and you've preserved christening gowns and little baby shoes and...
Absolutely. I mean, this is the point. We've got to stop filling our homes with things that don't mean things and hiding the things that do mean in cupboards.
I love that. Because that's such a great talking point, and I think that's literally who you are.
Absolutely.
That's your slogan. Stop showing the things that don't mean something and hiding the things that do.
Yeah.
And if we lose that box, which over time I've lost things, we've all lost things, right, that are really important.
When you've moved and packed up,
it
happens.
Yeah. So those baby photos I still have, but for example, the little umbilical cord or the first haircut, I have lost those things. And obviously, who has their bouquet? Like, unless you've preserved it properly, this is such a,
Or, I mean, even if you have done the right thing and you haven't lost it, and then you pull it out of the box and you find moths have gotten to it.
I know.
And then there are moments, I mean, if you've ever had it happen to you, it's like
it makes you hysterical. I know. Yeah.
And then you can't do anything about it.
And then you can't do anything about it. I know. I feel like what you do in preserving people's moments and that keepsake is just, it's so special. And I feel like in our industry where everything is so fast and you're spending so much money and so much time and so much effort to get everything done for the day, what do you have to keep forever? And this is it.
Yeah.
I love it. So what does, if I'm a couple, I'm a bride right now and I'm like, I want this, how does it happen? How do you get the bouquet to where it needs to go to do what you need to do?
Yeah, look, it really depends on where you are located. location-wise.
Yep.
If you're Sydney-based, you can either drop it off to us or we can organise a courier to pick it up.
Yep.
If you're interstate, Australia Post is your best bet.
Okay.
While you can use a courier company, they all use basically the same network. And express post from most states to us now is the next day. If you
Okay.
send it by 11 o'clock on a Monday morning,
Yeah.
I have it the next day on Tuesday.
Okay. And then how do you actually send it? Like in a box, in a
In a
bag?
cardboard box.
Okay.
They send boxes
Yeah.
that fit most bouquets.
Yeah.
If you've got a metre long bouquet like me, you might have a little bit more
Yeah.
problem. But box it up, crush newspaper to provide some
Yeah.
padding so it's not rolling around in
Yeah.
there. And then you put in some frozen veggies to keep it nice and cool because they're cheaper than ice packs.
Oh.
You can pick up some frozen home-bred
Yeah.
veggies for $3 or $4 now. It's cheaper than an ice pack.
Yeah.
Keep it nice and cool in transit, and I'll have it the next day.
Oh, amazing. And who is buying these packages? Is it sometimes like the mother of the bride? Is it the bridesmaid?
Yeah, look, it's most of the time it's the brides, but we're getting a big push now from mums,
Yeah.
and it's that I wish I had done this.
Yeah.
And so she's making sure the daughters
That's going to be
don't-
me with my daughter.
Yeah.
That's literally going to be like, why'd you know? Imagine our bouquets side by side. Yeah.
And it's bringing in the parts of her bouquets too. So I've just finished one where we took a part of mum's dress, we actually cut a part of mum's dress and tied that around her stems instead of the ribbon she held on the day. And so it became that bit more of a family
Yeah.
heirloom
Yeah.
for that next generation.
And tell me, how long does it last?
A lifetime. So I'm not saying that flippantly. We do have one in the showroom that's over 64 years old.
What?
So,
We have to share that. 64 years old.
yeah. So, I mean,
That's so special.
I did knock it off the shelf probably about 15 or 16 years ago now, so it has looked a little better.
Okay.
But it's still there. It's still got colour to it.
Yeah.
Most of them in our showroom are more than 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And there's even a few that are over 20 years old. We've got ones from the Sydney Olympics, so they're more than 24 years old now.
Oh, wow.
That's flown by.
So does the bride need to come visit you in order to pick what she wants, or can you do sort of an online consult? Like how?
Yeah, look, I prefer you to come to me. I can do it through Zoom.
Yeah.
The reason I prefer you to come to me is that I get to understand the significance of these items to
Yeah.
you. I'm preserving your story, and so to know what your story is, I need you to tell me and share that with me.
Yeah.
If you're clicking buttons on a screen, there's none of that personality that's going to come through in your frame, and
Yeah.
I need that to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
So we can either do it by Zoom, or I can send you even a sample case, because again, I have a big issue with computer screens not necessarily providing you the exact colour things are going to look. You might not realise that this dome is this big, for example. So I send you templates so you can see how big things are, and you can actually see the mouldings and feel them, see that you like that colour. That white is actually an off-white, or that timber is slightly more red than you thought it was. Because we've all bought things online and gone, oh, it's not the colour I wanted. Well, if this is going to be in your home for 64 years, I don't want that to be it wasn't the colour I wanted for 64 years.
Yeah. No, for sure. So that customization and personalization is definitely part of that process. And so how far out from the wedding do you kind of need to have an understanding locked in? Let's go.
Personalisation and what you want in terms of your display, we actually choose after your wedding.
Oh, okay. So you basically just I need to know that I'm receiving the bouquet, and I can get the rest sorted. And so what do? You actually preserve the bouquet
So we
during
preserve
that time?
the bouquet. 6 to 8 weeks after the wedding, we can handle the flowers again, and that's when I'll say, hey, Wendy, we need to have a chat.
Yeah.
By this stage, you've usually finished having your honeymoon.
Yeah.
You've hopefully got some photographs back from your photographer.
Yeah.
And then we talk about how you want me to put it back together. Because obviously the reconstruction into a dome is very different to a frame where it's got a flat back.
Yeah.
So we talk about how you want it all put back together, and then what accessories you want to go back in it. So that's really critical in terms of
And
having
here
photos
we
back.
see the headpiece.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so I know my children, right? And I have many children. So would they, is this actually, like, can you actually lift it?
No.
No, okay.
So you can...
Because they would be doing that. Yeah.
Everything's completely sealed, so
Okay.
you can't actually take it off.
Okay. Practical question there, but I had to ask.
No.
Yeah.
No. And so we go through on all those things on how to hang it as well. Even our frames is nice and simple. They're all completely sealed.
Yeah.
Comes with the wire to hang it. You've just got to find a hook to suit your wall.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually thinking if I can pull together, what I'd love to do is the christening gowns of the kids and just like a piece from each and then do that as a frame.
Yeah.
So at least I have something. That would be lovely.
Yeah.
But I think that from the wedding, if you are a sentimental person, this is something that you can continue that journey with,
Absolutely.
which is so beautiful.
Well, it's that journey of life.
Yeah.
And creating sort of your own photo wall with extras, because I mean photos are great and
Yeah.
they capture moments, but
This brings it to life, I feel.
that's right.
Yeah.
You've got that object permanence, so it's that objects often have so much more memories to you. And I mean, Mum's got dementia, which
Yeah.
we talked about last time.
Yeah.
And so I know now that part of her therapy is we expose her to different objects and materials that hold memories.
Yeah.
And so that makes what I do so much more important, because
Yeah.
I realise now that
She
whilst-
recognizes some things.
that's right.
Yeah.
So it may not matter now,
Yeah.
but 40 years' time, that may be
It's amazing.
something that connects you to
Yeah.
that child.
Yeah, yeah, amazing. And can you talk me through a little bit about pricing? Just so people are aware of,
Absolutely. Look, again, it depends on obviously how big the bouquet
Yeah.
is and what sort of display they choose. Prices start from $1,300 and go right up into the thousands. I mean, we've done coffee tables with bouquets in them.
Oh, wow.
So when I say it's customized, it's customized.
Yeah.
Something like this piece here would set them back about $3,000.
Okay,
Okay. The average client spending between that $2,000 to $3,000 mark.
okay.
Okay.
And do you have a payment plan, or is it, how does it work?
Absolutely. So before the wedding, it's only a deposit of $330.
Okay.
At that 8-week mark we talked about, it's another $330, and the rest is paid off over that 4 to 6 months to take us to preserve those flowers, because it is quite a lengthy time to preserve the flowers. So we give them that opportunity to pay it off over that time.
Yeah, which is great.
Well, yeah.
And they will receive them 6 months, hopefully later.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And then you can ship it back?
Yeah.
Australia-wide?
Australia-wide.
Okay. All right. We've got a lot of information there. How good's that? Seriously. I think that there are so many brides, again, hearing that, oh, it's the $2,000 to $3,000 mark, and then you're planning a wedding and you're like, I really want it, but I don't know if I can afford it right now, or is it a priority? And then the wedding happens and you're like, I'm not letting go of this. Like, I'm going to keep this, and to pay that $330 deposit and then be able to do it afterwards is amazing.
And that's the thing, isn't it, really? I mean, I think I just read the latest statistics on weddings is, I think we average budget now is about $25,000, and 25% of all weddings go over budget.
Yeah. Oh, in Australia, like, I mean, the Wedded Wonderland average cost of a wedding, I don't know if I want to say it's around the $100,000 mark.
Yeah. So I think Easy Wedding just released their statistics and said that the average wedding
Of
goes
an Australian wedding,
of an
yeah.
Australian wedding
Yeah.
goes over budget by 25%.
Yeah.
So by the time it gets to the end of the wedding and when they're starting to think about this,
Yeah.
they're going, oh, I'm already overspent.
Yes.
But then it's 12 months later and it's regret kicks in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wish I had it.
Yeah.
And so my big thing is, well, don't wish you had it.
Yeah.
Just pay it off.
Yeah.
And I mean, at $3,000 or $2,500, I think it works out to be about $90 a week
Okay. Yeah.
over
Over
6
that
months.
period. Yeah. Yeah. And then if your parents are thinking, or your bridesmaids are thinking of a gift, and you're like, I've got everything that I need, I don't really know, this is something that they can really contribute to, and that could even make it a little bit more special, you know?
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I think, I mean, most of us are in that situation
Add
now.
it to your registry, ladies. Just going to put that out there. Add it to your registry. You'll get another vacuum later.
Well, who needs a vacuum?
Yeah. True.
A broom works just as well.
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah. No, I do think that if you are a sentimental, and I am that person, I have kept things that my husband and my kids are like, what is this, Mum? I love also historical things. So I'm like a double whammy. I'm sentimental. I hold on to weird and wonderful things. I also love like my wedding dress, the christening, everything. I still have everything that I was able to hold on to. My invitation that I have, the coin that was in the invitation, the ribbon that was on the invite. So I would have been definitely the bride that would have loved this. And I think that just people knowing that the option is available. And I want to ask you a bit of a controversial question. We are seeing, because, you know, we work with so many different types of people who preserve the bouquet, the resin side of things and some of these trends that we're seeing on TikTok.
Yep.
What's your take on that? And what's the difference between that and this?
Okay.
Let's be real.
Let's be real.
Okay.
I don't touch resin, and I don't touch resin because resin is a UV reactive polymer. So in layman's terms, resin is a plastic substance that we're coating your precious items in.
Okay.
And once it's in there, it's stuck. You can't get it out.
Okay.
Then it's UV reactive, which means once it's in UV, it starts to discolour. And it's going to go yellow or champagne in colour.
Okay.
So now your precious items, your invitation, is stuck in a plastic, slowly going yellow.
Okay.
How quickly it goes yellow depends on the quality of the resin that provider has used.
Right.
But I have items in-house laboratory. So we have insects embedded in resin that are 10 years old, and I know that they're all yellow. And that's museum grade resin. And that's in a laboratory, in a blackened room, in a shelf that's all velveted.
Yeah.
It's just there so we can train staff on what bugs to watch out for.
Yeah.
So to me, then your precious items are stuck in something that you can't get them out of, and it's discoloured, and in my opinion, ruined them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think resin's great, and if it stayed that crystal clear, I'd be the first one to go, do it.
Yeah. And offer it,
But it
actually.
doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't. Okay.
And so now you can't get the things out again.
Yeah.
And that upsets me because
Yeah.
these things are precious to you.
They are, yeah.
So the difference between that and, say, a dome, if you then had the dome and went, look, I don't know what I was thinking, a dome doesn't work with my life, my 3 kids just keep touching it and it's driving me nuts, it needs to be in a frame.
Yeah.
I can always take it out of the dome and put it back into a frame.
Oh, so you can do that after the fact.
So nothing is permanent as such.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Whereas with resin, it's permanent,
That's it.
it's discolouring.
Yeah.
And
That's it. It's
not,
stuck. It's there.
and it's not preserved because the other issue is a lot of these people that are using resin are using silica gels to preserve the flowers.
Okay.
So you're not actually preserving the flowers, you're just drying out the flowers using silica gels. And we all know what silica gels are because you've all bought a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
It's that little packet that's in your shoes.
Yeah.
They're using a variation of that.
Right. Okay.
And so what's happening is some are not getting out all the moisture. Not all flowers are suitable for it because they've got way too much moisture. So your peonies, your succulents, anything like that, they can't work out how to extract the moisture. And so you're getting things like the see-through flowers or the burnt flowers because it's having a chemical reaction in the process as well. So I don't recommend it. I say to people, whilst it's a great trend and if you want to do it for things that don't matter and it's just home decor, that's fine.
Yeah.
But for things you actually want to preserve and keep for a lifetime, stay away because it may be 2 years, it may be 5 years, but eventually you're going to end up having a yellow item that you're not happy with.
Yeah. Yeah. And the intention is the longevity.
Absolutely.
That's the intention. So if you want something that looks like it has been preserved in a museum, that is sentimental, that is for your family, and that is long lasting, this is the route. If you want something that's going to keep your stuff stuck in a, display, which may change over time, then that's essentially what the resin is for. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think that, it just it depends on the kind of person that you are and what you're really looking for
That's right.
and what you're paying for.
And I guess there is that big push in as a society that we are a throwaway society.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all expecting a new phone every 2 years.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to items of importance, your flowers, your kids' stuff.
Yeah.
I do a lot of funeral work too, so
I can imagine.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Having my wedding bouquet and then going 3 years after the fact, oh, it's yellow now, I'm throwing it out. Then why bother, in my opinion.
Yeah. I understand. And I think from your perspective, I mean, if you are doing all of those, really significant moments in people's lives, what you're essentially doing is wanting them to last for them.
Exactly.
Because you're wanting them to go, this is the memory. You want to be able to look back on it. You want your kids to be able to look back on it. So I'm assuming that you preserve funeral flowers as well? Is that what you're saying? Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, because for a lot of people, that's the last moment you have with someone.
Yeah.
And so you're wanting to hold on to everything you've got of someone.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really special, important moment.
Yeah.
Particularly when they've gone quickly.
Yeah.
And you haven't had
that
that
opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you keep the boutonniere as well? So that's,
100%, because, guys, despite what she tells you, this is your wedding day too.
It's very important you keep that boutonniere on that jacket, blazer, shirt, and that's also something that can be preserved.
Absolutely.
Yeah, beautiful. So think about what you want to keep. I think that's a starting point. Then have a chat and see what can be preserved. And from what I'm hearing, you can pretty much preserve
whatever you want.
Anything.
Yeah.
And the way that's going to be displayed, whether it's certificates and photos and items, and where you eventually want to put it may change, and you can always come back and make that decision as well.
Absolutely.
I love it. I'm going to get my bouquet reworked. Pretend. Shh. Nobody needs to know. But do people do that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And husbands do really romantic gestures where they bring me in photographs and say, "This is what the bouquet looked like. Can you reconstruct?"
Yeah.
And so we go out and source the flowers and reconstruct.
That's a great anniversary gift.
And so they re-gift it to them as an anniversary gift as a surprise. And the husbands that do that, kudos, because that's thinking out the square.
Yes, and that's a big deal. I feel like even for like Christmas gifts, as a surprise, can you imagine receiving something that's preserved? Maybe some family heirlooms, some photos. If you go into my parents' house, they have, we call them the, it's the Wall of Fame, because we have all of our ancestors. It's almost like, when you watch the movie Coco?
Yep.
And you have the, what is that called? Ofrenda.
Yeah.
That's what, but it's on so there's probably 50 photos that are framed on the walls around the house. So I know if I found something for my father, he's got his original passport photo, for example. He was also, back then they were conscripted to go to the army. So little things like that, and you're thinking, oh, my parents have everything, whatever.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. We are getting harder and harder to buy for.
Yeah.
Especially our parents.
Yeah.
Because they have everything.
Yeah.
And if they don't have it, they just go out and buy it themselves.
Yeah.
So it does make it really easy to just sort of go, okay, what can I take without them knowing? And things like, just as your kids are the most important things to you, you're the most important things to your parents. So even if it's finding your christening gown and a photograph of, you and each of your siblings wearing that same gown and having that as a photo collage around that gown.
Yeah, so beautiful.
Or, photographs of their wedding day with
so beautiful,
bits
honestly.
and pieces from their day that you found.
Do you do a package maybe around mum's corsage, dad's boutonniere that they can have, and then you get to keep your bouquet and your... do you have those kinds of...
So we do have a package, and so it's usually a photograph in the middle and then mum's corsage and dad's button boutonniere.
Yeah.
And I say to you, find a photograph of all of you together, because I think that's a really nice moment.
Yeah.
Because for a lot of parents, weddings are a mixed emotion.
Yeah.
I know with my dad, he cried the whole day.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can tell you why. But even down to our daddy-daughter dance, Dad cried.
Yeah.
And he's a big, burly bloke.
Yeah.
Who doesn't show emotion. My dad's on the spectrum.
Yeah.
So for him to cry, that was just
Oh my
unreal.
goodness.
So I got his done
Yeah.
with a photograph of us dancing and crying.
Oh, that's so beautiful. You're going to make me cry now.
I know, I'm not so...
Yeah. No, but I think, how many of us have photos of our parents at our wedding in their home versus our photo? Like you walk around the parents' house and a lot of the times it's the photo of the kids who got married.
Yeah.
But them in the photo with their boutonnie, and their, corsage or whatever it is, that even dad's,
And I
bow
mean,
tie, so nice.
I've grown up in the floristry industry.
Yeah.
I mean...
So your mum was a florist, right?
Mum was a florist.
Yeah.
So, I'm what's called an under-the-counter baby.
Yeah.
Because Mum worked at the counter and I was literally under the counter while she made bouquets. So, for me, I always grew up that you bought corsages and you bought boutonnieres for everyone that was super significant
That's
in
right.
your life.
Yeah.
As a sign of respect.
Yeah.
So what's more respectful is to then say to them,
Yeah.
I want you to keep that in perpetuity.
Yeah.
With a photograph of us.
Is that what it's called, in perpetuity?
Yeah.
Okay. I love that word. And I want you to keep it and I want you to have it forever and I'm going to do this for you.
Because that's how significant you are for me.
I love that. This is so significant. I think what you do and your passion, and this is why I want you to come in. I was like, oh, please, because we're doing these podcasts and obviously we have Wedded Week coming up, but for us it's so important that people understand the story behind the brand and that there are a lot of people in the wedding industry who do what they do because either the skills were passed down or they have a talent and ability to connect. We're in an emotional industry. Our couples are getting married. It's a love story. And a lot of the times you see on social media, and I know we had this conversation, you see that end result and sometimes, people see things and what is that? Or, oh, that looks easy. Or, oh yeah, I'll just get one of my cousins to kind of figure that out for me, whatever it is. This is an offering that I don't know anyone else in Australia that actually has this service for brides and for anyone who wants to preserve in this manner at this level with scientists and a laboratory and museum grade. And I just think that what you do is amazing and you're part of that story for keeps forever.
Yeah.
So thank you for what you do, honestly, because I think it's very special. And we're very lucky to be working with you.
I love what I do. And I think that comes across.
Yeah.
I love it. And weddings are so intense. And anyone planning a wedding knows that, yes, they are a love story.
Yeah.
But there's so many more emotions that go with them. And so I say to them, when you come in, it's your safe spot.
Yeah.
Tell me anything. I don't care. If I end up listening to you whinge about your third cousin who got drunk and decided to do the Eagle Rock on repeat for an hour, that's fine. Get it off your chest because I want this to be a moment where you just go,
yeah, this is something for me as well, hey?
It's for you.
Yeah.
It's for you to start your new life together as a couple.
Yeah.
And go, this is us. This is our family now.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter about all the third cousins and the aunts and the this and the that. At the end of the day, this is our little sphere.
Yeah.
And I want that to be a happy start.
Yeah.
Regardless of all the other drama that
yeah, we know. We know. Yeah. Yeah.
It rains on your wedding day. I mean, I'm the first one to say, if it rains on your wedding day, your photos will be beautiful.
They will be.
And I've seen a lot of wedding photos.
You just got to roll with it. You just have to roll with it. And I think having worked in the wedding industry for so long, you and I have seen a lot of things. But it's what you remember and what you walk away with as well, and things will happen.
Oh, yeah.
You have a room full of 100, 200, 300, whatever it is, number of people, that all have their own opinions, that all have their own ideas of how a wedding should be. You yourself, within your own family unit, have different ideas of what your wedding needs to look like and should look like. And, you know, you might be dreaming about it from the age of 5. You may not be a non-conventional bride and they're like, okay, I'm getting married. I have no idea. I've never even looked at a wedding dress. And we've had both sides.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, but I think it just comes down to today with so many trends and so much noise and so much happening is that think about the things that are everlasting.
Oh, 1%.
Yeah.
Like 100%. And I mean, I say to every couple, because I speak to them just before your wedding, I'll always call you and say, just confirming, I mean, I'm getting your bouquet.
Yeah.
You're all good. You've got your care tips. You're sorted. There's nothing else you need from me.
Yeah.
On the day, take a big deep breath and absorb it all. Because as you said at the beginning, the day goes like this.
Yeah, it does.
I really don't, I mean, I'm in the wedding industry and I still don't know where my day went.
Yeah.
I was getting my hair and makeup done and the next minute I'm in a car going to my hotel.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what happened in between.
It does. It flies. Yeah.
So just take a big moment.
Yeah.
Look at the room. Look at what you've designed. Because that's phenomenal. But things will go wrong.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. What matters is you're marrying your person.
Yeah.
And I had a number of years ago, one of my brides, her wedding venue burnt down the day before.
Oh, goodness.
And I remember saying to her, like, did you lose your crap?
Yeah.
'Cause how else do you feel?
Yeah.
And she said, I did, and to another venue put up their hand and said, you can still get married tomorrow. And she said, and then I realised it didn't matter.
Yeah.
I was still getting married.
Yeah.
And that's when I really
That's
realised
amazing, yeah.
That's really
what it's all about.
It's about love.
Yeah.
And keeping that love and just having that moment to just go, yes, okay. Things are going to go wrong, but as long as I'm getting married, it's okay.
That's exactly right. I feel like these days, the cultural weddings and the cross culture, they are less in numbers, a little bit, but they're louder than ever. They're out of control.
I just think they're fun. And I really want to be invited to a Chinese wedding.
Oh, yeah, the tea ceremony.
I want to do the whole tea ceremony. Yeah. And again, it's because I get to be exposed to all these things and I get FOMO and I'm like,
if only I was there. No, it's amazing, honestly. I think that let's get maybe just a final wrap up. I just want you to tell us what you really want people to know about your business, where you're at, and just that final message. Yes, because I know you've gone through a rebrand, website. I think that people just need to be aware of the fact that this business has been running for 32 years. You took over 8 years ago. And whilst you work in the wedding industry, you do so many amazing things. A lot of people don't know about your offering. What do you want to say to florists? You know, we spoke about that whole referral program of you working with florists and them being aware of this offering, because I think they're the ones that probably need to be letting their brides know. So whatever you want, we're going to edit it, but you just tell us what this journey's been like and who you want to be working with and what that end goal looks like for you as a business owner. Working with florists.
Working with florists, I want to work with florists that use good quality flowers.
Yeah.
That are after good techniques. And I'm not fussy. I don't care if that's in your garage or not, as long as the quality of the flowers are quality.
Yeah.
Because I need quality flowers to do good quality work.
Yeah.
There is a direct correlation between what I get in to what I can export out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I say to all my brides, make sure you're using a good quality florist.
Yeah.
And you can tell that by seeing their work and seeing what's posted on socials. If you're seeing their work on socials and the flowers halfway through the day are starting to look wilted and are starting to look bruised, and it's a one-off, the bride was probably rough.
Yeah.
If it's a lot of photos, the florist is probably not using the freshest qualities.
Yeah.
So we want fresh quality flowers from our florists. And we're wanting the florist to remind their brides of us early in the process.
Yeah.
Because of how labour intensive our process is, I am limited to the number of bouquets I can accept. So finding out about us the week after their wedding is less helpful than them knowing about it when they've chosen their bouquet.
But I feel like that's when you think about it, right? So you're like, oh, my wedding's coming up, you know, it's in a couple of weeks. Oh, I want to preserve my flowers. How do I do it?
But
So
again, a lot of
if the florist give them the heads up, then at least,
is there going,
yeah,
look, I've designed this. This is what we've picked. It's
Yeah.
going to look gorgeous.
yeah,
And I think you should look into preserving it if you're that, you know,
Yes.
so inclined. That's going to give them the heads up to implant that idea rather than it being at the end of the day going,
Yeah.
I really don't want this to die. I'm in love with it.
yeah. And then also missing out, really.
And
So
missing
florists, we need you on board.
So florists were on board. Brides, don't call me up on a Monday morning and panic. Try and remember when the florist hit you up
Yeah,
on that. Don't be trying to stress with all these ideas beforehand. As I said, I don't need you to tell me what you want until after your
No.
wedding. Okay? I just need to know you want to get it done.
yeah. That's good. I love that because I feel like the bride has so many things to think about. So if she just knows she wants it preserved and then can figure out how,
Yeah.
then that's fine.
The house, the
Yeah.
finer details,
Yeah.
just go get married, have a honeymoon. We'll sort out that later.
Yeah,
So I just want you to be clear-minded
Yeah.
when you get back. And then when you come in with no expectations. I always say to them, I love when they come in and they go, oh, I've got exactly what I want in my mind.
yeah,
Because they never leave with it.
yeah,
They always end up changing it because you don't know what you really want until you start the process with
Yeah.
me.
yeah,
And that's getting to know that story behind why each piece is sentimental. So bring as much as you could possibly want into that appointment because it's always easier to go, no, I don't want it, than it is to go, oh, my invitation was roughly this
yeah.
big.
Never know.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's true. Bring everything. I think that's so important. And you don't, it's easier to edit than
Yeah.
not to have it, right? Yeah,
Absolutely. So, I mean, we're experts in this field. We've been doing this for more than 32 years.
Yeah.
I've been in the business now for 18 years. I've been head shop for 8 years.
yeah.
I personally, with the business, just won 2 awards last weekend.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. So we just won Australia's Ladies Business Product-Based Business of the Year.
Okay, amazing.
So that's beating out all sorts of things, chocolate
Yeah.
businesses, bath bombs, anything.
Yeah,
And that comes down to our quality
Yeah.
controls and our museum grades. We've just signed on with the Professional Framers Guild as well to make sure that we are making sure that our
Oh,
museum
wow.
quality is up
Yeah.
to their standards as
Yeah.
well. Because, again, we want to make sure that this stuff lasts.
practice what you preach.
100%. I want to make sure that I'm meeting things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've been a finalist in 10 different awards
Yeah.
this year. So, taking home 2 purple trophies on the weekend wasn't too bad.
Yeah, love it.
So, it was just amazing to just finally see that what we are practicing is actually coming into fruition.
Yeah. Well, keep up the amazing work. I think that being part of that journey and that story is everlasting. I'm inspired. Like I said, I feel like I'm in a Disney movie. And consider what you can preserve because it's about the legacy of that love story and that life journey. And I just think, yeah, this is amazing.
Thanks very
Thank
much.
you for
Wendy.
coming in.
Thanks for
Thank you.
having me.
Yay.
Yay.